Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? Now, let me start off by asking you all a question. How many of you would love to bring some change into your life? Maybe you don't have as much money as you'd like. You'd like to earn a little bit more money. Maybe you want to bring a little bit more happiness into your life. Maybe you would like to be a little bit more confident. By show of hands, how many of you came here today expecting some sort of change? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, now how many of you think life's going pretty well? Maybe you don't need any change, right? Or maybe you don't think that change is even possible for you. If you don't need change in your life right now, or you don't think change is possible for you, let me see your hand. All right, there's no right or wrong answer to this. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, my name is Coach Mark. I'm an author, a success and belief coach, and a peak performance trainer. I can help bring change to anyone's life. It does not matter where you are at, right? All of us, I truly believe that in life we are constantly growing, right? Life is going to change whether we want it to or not. So we can make the choice as to whether or not we want it to change in the way that we need for it to change. So I am here to help you bring the change that you want into your life, okay? Today I am going to teach you the three areas, if you want to create a breakthrough in your life, the three areas that you need to work on to be able to create a breakthrough. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I've always been an entrepreneur, probably ever since I was a little kid. And I remember going away to college and I ended up starting a nightclub and really had a rough time with that. Um, just I was 21, 22 years old, thought I knew everything and made some really bad mistakes and really just was at the lowest of the low. Things just completely were not working out the way that they needed to work out. Went through some really rough times. And I remember just sitting in my living room, actually sitting in my bedroom at the time, and just really wanting some change in my life. I knew that I just could not live life the way that it was, and I just really needed for things to change. And what came to me was that there were three areas in my life that I needed to change in order to bring massive change into my life, right? And what I've come to find out at the time, I probably didn't know this as well, but what I've come to find out is that the three areas in your life that you need to change is A, you need to change your state, right? And essentially, I'll go into and tell you a little bit about more about state a little bit later, but you need to first change your state, and then you need to change your story, and then you need to change your strategy, okay? So those are the three areas in life that if we want to bring massive change, if we want to bring a breakthrough in our life, those are the three areas that we need to go ahead and change. So let me go ahead and start off by telling you a little bit about state. Essentially, state is like where you're at right now. It's how you feel and how you feel about yourself, right? And let me show you why your state is so important. When you're in a negative state, well, let's talk about a positive state. So let's talk about some of the characteristics of being in a positive state. When you're in a positive state, you're a lot more confident, you're optimistic, you're looking for opportunities, right? You're just a better person to be around. When you're in a negative state, you're definitely not optimistic, right? You think that everything is going bad. You're what, pessimistic. You're not looking for opportunities. So opportunities can come right up to your face and you wouldn't even know what an opportunity looked like, right? That's what happens when you're in a negative state. You think that the world is out to get you. People don't want to be around you because you're just not a great person, right? So what a lot of people don't realize is that we can change our states at any point in time because, we're all human. So things happen that may throw us into a negative state, right? But even if something happens that throws us into a negative state, we can change that at any given point in time, right? Now, how many of us have had something happen? Maybe someone says something really negative to you, and then you say, man, and then you just get into a bad mood and you allow yourself to be in that bad mood for hours, sometimes for days, sometimes for even weeks, sometimes even months, right? Maybe we had a family member that said something really negative to us, and then we just decided that we were going to stay in that state, and we were going to hold that grudge. Well, guess what? What I've come to realize is that it doesn't benefit us to be in that negative state. So, we're all human, so we all have an opportunity I mean, not an opportunity, but we all get drawn into that negative state at times, but we can control whether or not that we stay in that state. Now, the easiest way to change the state that you're in is to be able to change your physiology. So like just being able to stand up straight or sit up straight, right? Change your physiology. That's one of the ways that you can change your state. The other way is if you're just doing exercise, right? Because when we're doing exercise, it releases these endorphins and it makes us feel good. And I realize that like now I'm so used to doing exercise in the morning that my body starts to ache in the mornings until I get up, get out my bed, and I go walking and I go to the gym, right? Because now my body's almost craving it. So I kind of almost know how someone feels that's addicted to some sort of substance because like once our body releases these endorphins, it's almost like that natural drug that we're taking. So every single morning I'm having those cravings like how people are on drugs, like I have to go to the gym. I have to go get some exercise in because my body's craving it. But what happens is but that's a good thing because when I get it, my body feels great, right? And it puts me in a great state to be able to tackle the day. It puts me in a state where I'm able to be as effective as I need to be able to accomplish everything that I need to accomplish for the day. So that's why state is important. And if you want to perform at your best, you want to make sure that you're in the right optimal state. That is so, so very important. Think about it. When you're in a bad mood, right? When you're in a bad mood and things aren't going well or whatever, you don't perform at your best. That's why it's so important that you have to first be able to go in and change your state, all right? So the next point is your story. So once you have the right state, that will help you to start looking at the right story because, you know, really all life is just a story that we've told ourselves. And then the story that we tell ourselves is generally what limits us, right? So for a lot of people, if you're going around telling yourself that you can't become successful because A, you don't have enough money, or B, you're too old, or C, you're too young, or maybe because you're a woman, or maybe because the color of your skin or your race or where you come from, that's just a story that you've told yourself, right? Because we can always find someone that came from similar circumstances as you that were able to become very successful, right? So if they did it, why can't you? Right? That's why I study so many successful people because what happens is that by studying these people and hearing their stories, you realize that they went through a lot of the same things that you went through, sometimes even more, right? Some of these people, I'm not from America, and you know, I could have easily used the excuse to, hey, you know what? Because I'm not an American citizen, I'm a legal resident, but I'm not an American citizen, even though I've been here for my entire life, right? I can't. I'm held back from doing certain things, right? I couldn't be president of the United States. I could probably run for senator if I really wanted to, but I could never be president of the United States. And there's certain things I can't do, right? But there are so many people that become very, very successful, and they weren't born here in the United States as well. So I can't use that as an excuse. You know, I can sit here and say, well, you know, it's harder for me because I'm not from. No, I can't use that excuse because there are people that have come here with less money than myself that was able to make billions, not even millions, but billions of dollars, right? So that's just a story that I'm telling myself, right? I can sit here and say, well, maybe because I'm African American, I'm black, I can't become as successful as I want. That's just another story that I'm telling myself because there are several. There's so many people that are African American that have become really successful, right? Maybe I tell myself that I can't be in a movie because I'm bald, right? I don't have any hair on my head. That's another story because we know of many actors that are bald as well, that are, even though I'm not naturally bald, that have been successful as well. So generally, what holds most people back from attaining the success that they want in life is just the story that they tell themselves, right? So once we get our state right, then we get our story right. The next thing is our strategy. The reason why most people, even once they get their state right and their story right, they never ever get to the finish line is because they have an incorrect strategy. And it happens to all of us, even some of the best companies. You know, let's take Apple for example, right? Apple, after they let Steve Jobs go, they started going down a road one direction and they had a horrible strategy, right? They were trying to do all kinds of different things instead of focusing on a few things and doing those things well. They were trying to copy all the other computer companies of the time, and they were doing just all kinds of different products, but they didn't have one standout product. And it wasn't until they brought Steve Jobs back in and they changed their strategy. He went and cut their product line drastically and said, okay, we're only going to focus on these 3 or 4 products right here, but we're going to make the best 3 or 4 products, is when they started to take off. And now, and I mean, Apple before Steve Jobs came back was probably on the verge of bankruptcy. Now they are probably the most valuable company in the world. All right. So hopefully you guys have been able to learn a little bit about how to create a breakthrough change in your life by changing what? Your state, then your story, then changing your strategy. And I can guarantee you this, if you change your state, you will become a happier person, okay? If you change your story, you change what is possible for you. So now you're changing your confidence, right? You're able to change and what's possibly out there for you. And by changing your strategy, if you're doing a lot of the right things, but you're not getting the results that you want, it's because you need a different strategy. So by changing your strategy, you are able to create the success that you want. I thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I look forward to coming back here and speaking with you soon. Thank you.